Hey guys, I'm a fish guy here doing a video for a viewer request. Just want to say thank you for the logo design that everybody picked out. It is now being displayed on the t-shirts. I have bumper stickers out there, business cards out there. I'll be shipping some bumper stickers out, hopefully with the prizes or at least business cards and maybe even t-shirts eventually. So we'll kind of get to that a little bit later. But this video is going to be on the albino clawed frog. There are different morphs of this. There's the brown and green, which is your normal, everyday clawed frog. The most that you'll see out there are the albino clawed frogs, and now starting to come into the market are what they call candy or the Tutti Frutti or Tutti frogs. And now the Tutti Frutti frogs or the candy frogs are pretty much like a dyed species of these. They're dyed purple, green, blue, any kind of color that you can pretty much imagine. They dye these guys to make them a little bit more marketable and cute. Now, these guys are cute. I love them. I'm actually been looking at getting one. I just got to set up a 10-gallon tank down here for one and eventually move it up into the 20 once it gets bigger. Now, what's crazy about these guys is they're a lot smarter than what you think they are. Now, these guys aren't pretty much plop them into a tank and let them be and they'll pretty much go from there. No. These guys are actually one of the more smarter kind of fish or frog that you're going to see in the fish world because they do like a change in the ornaments. Plants, driftwood, they need to be kind of visually stimulated and they need to kind of have a change of surroundings. Now you'll notice them kind of getting bored and they'll start swimming around frantically looking for kind of like a place to hide. So let's break it down real quick what these guys require. Now these guys, lifespan, you're looking at about 15 to 20 years, usually more around 10 to 5 in the aquarium hobby, and people just don't realize what these guys need and the requirements that they need. Now these guys get 4 to 6 inches, really the biggest I've seen is around 5 inches is the one I kept, and pretty much pH and temperature is pretty much anything. Now pH you're looking at about 6.0 to 8.0, and the temperature, mine were going anywhere from 64 degrees to about 80 degrees. Now you don't want to go too much above 80 because they don't really like the hot water. They more are of a cooler species for cooler water, and like I said, mine tolerate anywhere from 60 to 64, so which is perfect for the basement. Now diet. Now this is not very specific at all. They will eat anything, and I mean anything. Mine, what they would do is I would either take crayfish, feeder guppies, anything really that they could eat, they're going to eat. Mine would actually sit there and stuff, with its hands almost, stuff the feeder fish in, just like candy bars, and just devour them fish by fish. To the point where he'd have tails sticking all out of his mouth, and it was definitely hysterical to see, and that's why I liked them. Now, I'll probably be getting an albino frog just because they're a little bit easier to see, and I just like to kind of watch them because you can kind of see their eyes a little bit better, their mouth a little bit better, and the actual green ones are a little bit hard to find in this area. Now, they need hiding spots. Now, this is definitely very important because they can become stressed, and this brings us to our next point. If you do have one of these guys, because they do become stressed very easily, it's important to have a required filtration. So you don't want to go too big or too small. Going too big can cause too much of a vibration on the aquarium, and this can actually stress these guys out to the point of jumping out of the tank or leading to stress, secondary infections, or even death. Now you want to keep that in mind. You only want the most adequate filter that you can get for that aquarium and nothing too much bigger. Now if you can get one of those internal filters from Whisper that hangs right inside the aquarium, that's perfect. These things are real quiet and they're usually not a problem at all. That's what I've kept with all my aquarium frogs. Now there's some weird interesting facts out there about these guys. Now one really crazy fact, I believe it was in the 40s or 50s, these guys were actually used as pregnancy tests. Now yeah, it's kind of weird, sounds a little bit cruel, but it's actually kind of interesting because these guys, when injected with the urine from a woman who is pregnant, can actually detect the hormone HCG. And pretty much within 48 hours, the frogs are laying eggs. if the female is pregnant. Now this is in humans. Also with these guys, they were flown up into space in 1992 to study the basically breeding effects in zero gravity. And also rumor has it these guys are one of the first vertebrates to be cloned. Now that's kind of interesting. Just some random tidbits out there for everybody. But we'll get back to the aquarium habitat. I recommend a 20-gallon tank, pretty much at full grown size. I would definitely start off with a 10-gallon. That way there's no problem finding food for these guys. Sometimes I would have some of the frogs, if they're in too big of a tank, they couldn't find the food adequately enough. And you've got to figure these guys, when you buy them, are this big. Putting them in a 20-gallon tank is quite an environment to kind of get used to and try to catch your food. You basically want it so that the food really can't get away from these guys if you're looking to do live food. So that's pretty much basically everything about these guys. There's really not a whole lot to them. They're pretty aggressive, I would say, for a frog. They're pretty much going to eat anything. They pretty much tolerate a wide variety of different water parameters, water temperatures, and everything like that. Now, I'm going to post a picture up above of the Tutti Fruttis. And like I said, these guys are the dyed ones. They're probably the most popular you're going to see in the hobby now. They usually run about $6.99 to $12.99 depending on the market that you're in. So if you have any Tutti Fruttis or the clawed frogs in your area, post down below and tell us what price you're paying for these guys. And that way we can kind of, look around the map and see what everybody's paying for these guys. So another thing, these guys are actually from the southern parts of Africa. So just for anyone out there that needs to know that. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please post it down below in the comments and share this video. Subscribe to my videos. I definitely appreciate it. And like I said, soon to come, more t-shirts. And check out mafishguy.com for all your aquarium supplies and needs.